Today, a single television interview shook the entire Middle East. On March 13, 2026, President Donald Trump appeared live on Fox News during The Brian Kilmeade Show. The host asked Trump a direct question: is Iran's new Supreme Leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, still alive? Trump paused. Then he answered, "I think he is probably alive, damaged, but somehow alive." Those words were broadcast to millions of viewers across the United States. Within minutes, news alerts flashed across every major newsroom in the world. Intelligence agencies in Washington, London, and Tel Aviv immediately began analyzing the statement. This was not a leak. This was not a rumor. The President of the United States had just publicly questioned the physical condition of Iran's Supreme Leader. To understand why this matters so much, we need to know who Mojtaba Khamenei actually is. Mojtaba Khamenei is the son of the late Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei, who ruled Iran for over 3 decades. When Ali Khamenei died, the Assembly of Experts convened in emergency session. The Assembly of Experts is a body of senior Islamic clerics whose function is to select the Supreme Leader. Mojtaba Khamenei was not widely known before his father's death. He had operated in the shadows, managing his father's office and cultivating relationships inside the Revolutionary Guard. His elevation surprised many analysts in Western intelligence agencies. Some viewed it as a consolidation of family power rather than a transparent selection process. Others warned that his lack of independent standing made him weaker than his father from the very beginning. Those warnings look far more significant today. As Supreme Leader, Mojtaba now sits at the very top of Iran's government, its military, its judiciary, and its nuclear program. The Revolutionary Guard Corps, Iran's most powerful military force, answers directly to him. Proxy groups, including Hezbollah in Lebanon and the Houthis in Yemen, operate under his authority. But since taking office, Mojtaba Khamenei has not appeared in front of a single camera. No press conference, no televised speech, no verified photograph. In a country where state television runs footage of its leaders around the clock, this total absence was already raising serious questions. Trump's statement on Fox News poured fuel onto that fire. But Trump was not finished. He told the Fox News host that he had also spoken to G7 leaders about Khamenei's condition. Trump told those world leaders, in his own words, that the Iranian Supreme Leader is not doing well. The G7 includes the leaders of France, Germany, the United Kingdom, Italy, Japan, and Canada. That means the heads of the world's most powerful democracies were privately briefed on the same assessment Trump then confirmed on live television. This was not an accident. This was a coordinated message to the world. Then came an even more alarming statement from inside the Pentagon. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth addressed reporters and went significantly further than the president. Hegseth claimed that Mojtaba Khamenei is wounded and probably disfigured. He then asked a question that stopped the room. Iran has cameras. Iran has television studios. Iran has a state media apparatus worth billions of dollars. So why, Hegseth asked, has the Supreme Leader only released a written statement? His answer was direct: because the man cannot be seen in public. Meanwhile, British newspaper The Sun published a report citing sources described as close to Iranian military and medical circles. Those sources made extraordinary claims about Khamenei's physical condition. According to The Sun, Khamenei suffered severe injuries. The report alleges that one or both of his legs may have been amputated. It further claims he sustained internal organ damage, including injuries to the liver and stomach. Most dramatically, The Sun reported that Mojtaba Khamenei is currently in a coma. The report says he is being treated at Sina University Hospital in Tehran. These are serious allegations. They have not been officially confirmed by Western governments or intelligence agencies. But the fact that both the President and the Secretary of Defense are publicly describing a severely incapacitated leader gives these reports far greater weight than they would carry alone. Iran responded quickly. Youssef Pezeshkian, the son of Iranian President Pezeshkian, posted a statement on Telegram. He wrote that Mojtaba Khamenei is healthy and safe. Iranian state media echoed the denial across all its channels. Senior clerics and government officials lined up to insist the Supreme Leader is in full control. The denials were fast, organized, and forceful. But there is a fundamental problem with Iran's position. In 2026, the world has satellite surveillance, digital tracking, and open-source intelligence tools. A coordinated written denial means very little when the man himself refuses to appear on camera. Every day that passes without a verified live appearance by Khamenei makes the denials harder to believe. Intelligence analysts in Washington and London know this. Tehran knows this too. Now let us talk about why a leadership vacuum in Iran creates real danger for the entire region. Iran's political system is built on one central principle. The Supreme Leader holds absolute authority over every branch of the state. The military follows his orders. The courts follow his orders. Foreign policy is his domain. If that authority is genuinely weakened, a dangerous vacuum forms at the center of power. Hardliners inside the Revolutionary Guard Corps may feel free to act on their own judgment. Proxy forces in Lebanon, Yemen, Iraq, and Syria may begin making independent decisions. There is no clear second-in-command with the same level of authority to step in. The Revolutionary Guard Corps answers to the Supreme Leader alone, not the President, not the Parliament. If the Supreme Leader is incapacitated, senior IRGC commanders may begin making decisions that would normally require approval from the top. That includes decisions about Iran's nuclear program, its ballistic missiles, and its regional operations. American military bases in Iraq, Qatar, Bahrain, and Kuwait all sit within range of Iranian ballistic missiles. Pentagon planners are well aware that a fractured Iran is not necessarily a weaker Iran. It may be a far more impulsive one. And the energy markets have already noticed. Brent crude oil prices rose immediately after Trump's Fox News interview aired. Shipping insurance rates in the Persian Gulf, already elevated, came under further upward pressure. Oil tankers passing through the Strait of Hormuz carry roughly 20% of the world's daily oil supply. Any escalation near that choke point sends fuel prices rising in every country on Earth. Energy traders are now pricing in a risk premium that reflects deep uncertainty about who is actually running Tehran. There is also a diplomatic dimension receiving far too little attention. Iran has been engaged in nuclear negotiations with European powers for months. Those talks were already fragile, slow-moving, and built on very thin trust. A genuine leadership crisis in Tehran does not pause those negotiations. It derails them entirely. European diplomats cannot sign a nuclear agreement with a government that does not know who holds ultimate authority over its own program. The International Atomic Energy Agency, which monitors Iran's nuclear sites, also depends on a functioning chain of command in Tehran. If Iran's decision-making is fractured, commitments made by one faction may not be honored by another. The entire architecture of nuclear diplomacy in the Middle East rests on the assumption of a coherent Iranian government. That assumption is now in serious question. Israel is watching all of this with particular intensity. Israeli defense planners have long argued that a strong Iran with clear leadership is more manageable than an unpredictable one. A strong Iran can be deterred through diplomacy and military signaling. An Iran where no single authority controls the nuclear trigger, the missile arsenal, and the proxy networks simultaneously is a far more dangerous problem. In Jerusalem, security cabinet members are almost certainly in emergency consultations right now. Back in Washington, congressional leaders are beginning to ask pointed questions. The gap between what Trump said publicly and what intelligence agencies have formally assessed is not yet clear. If Trump's statement was based on verified intelligence, the world is facing one reality. If it was amplified for political effect, the world is facing a different and equally dangerous one. Either way, the statement is now part of the public record. It cannot be unsaid. Tehran now faces a trap with no clean exit. If Khamenei appears publicly on camera, in clear and current footage, the entire crisis narrative collapses. Iran will have exposed the Trump administration's claims as exaggerated or false. But if that appearance does not come, the silence will speak louder than any written statement. Every passing day without footage becomes stronger evidence for the American narrative. Governments from European capitals to Gulf states will begin quietly planning for a post-Khamenei Iran. That planning, once it begins, reshapes alliances, trade relationships, and military calculations across the entire region. Trump's 4 words on Fox News, damaged but somehow alive, have set a clock ticking. Tehran must answer the question the whole world is now asking. Until it does, the uncertainty will drive oil markets, military postures, and diplomatic decisions in every capital on Earth. The Middle East is watching every hour. And right now, nobody outside a small circle in Tehran knows the full truth. The world is waiting for a camera to turn on in Iran.